Jimmy McAllister found the net. Goal for Wednesday.
Terrific goal by Shayna.
Chris Waddle, is he going to have a crack?
Oh, he does, and it's goal. Still Glenn Wheeler. Aidan Flint whacks the goal. It's the time for a winner.
It was another defeat last night. It ended Blackburn Rovers 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and with it extending our unwanted run of 23 games without a win, 7 consecutive defeats in the league, and it's now 8 games without a goal. How long will we be referencing Cadamarteri's goal against Hull as the last goal that we've scored? We've already had dry January, poking fun at the goal of the month competition. Will February be the same? The question is, when will all of this end? Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. I'm James Mappin. This is the debate show, live with you every Wednesday from 8 o'clock. It's actually the 4th day in a row that we've gone live. It must be some sort of record that. We've had the main show on Sunday. We've had Deadline Day on Monday. We had the watch along yesterday. Now we've got the debate show. You guys are spoilt. Anyway, if you'd like what we do and you enjoy the content, first thing you can do is subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. If you've already done that and you want more, then head over to Patreon, patreon.com/WTID pod. Sign up to become a member. Over 250 members over there, which is absolutely incredible as well. How are you all today, this cold Wednesday evening? Mrs. went out for a tea with her mates, so I looked in the fridge. What to do with the kids and myself. I thought, nah, kids, you want to go to Chippy? Of course, they didn't say no to a chippy tea on a Wednesday. Then my daughter was like, Dad, can we sit in? Obviously got posh Chippy round where we are. Then anyway, went in there, lowered the average age by about 20. Everyone's about 60 plus in a sit down Chippy. Anyway, I'm stuffed. Diet is well out of the window, but yeah. What about yourself? How was? I don't want to know what you had for your tea, but how are you all? You all doing well? On that, I've actually lost a stone since New Year's Day. So I said that was my New Year's resolution: lose a bit of weight. So yeah, down a stone, which I'm chuffed to bits with. Anyway, what we're going to be talking about on this evening's show, not about my diet and the chippy and things like that. We're going to be talking about, well, yesterday, Blackburn 1, Wednesday 0. What did you make to that one? Another game, another defeat. This time it was an early goal. It wasn't on 60 minutes like most of the other ones have come. You know, we came close again to scoring a goal, this time with an effort that hit the bar. But that was about it, really. Other than that, there wasn't really much else that happened in terms of us from an attacking point of view. But yeah, what did you make to the performance? I can see Henrik coming under a lot of pressure at the moment, certainly from the fans anyway. I know I've spoke about that many a time and what my stance is, but I'd love to know what yours is. I mean, did anyone stand out for you yesterday? I thought Murphy Cooper was probably the person that came out of it with any sort of, positivity. I thought he made some fantastic saves and been really pleased with him, to be fair, since he's come in. But yeah, do come and let me know. We can also talk about the January transfer window. It's been and gone. Quite busy as well, from certainly in comparison to what it normally like. 6 in, 4 out. Murphy Cooper, Jaden Heskey, Jerry Yates, Teo Adamarola, Joel Ndala and Marvellous Nakamba are the 4 players that have come in, 3 of which we're yet to see. We didn't see any of the new players yesterday. 2 had not signed in time, and Teo not played since Boxing Day, I want to say, so he wasn't deemed fit enough to play. Hopefully we see them both, all 3 of them, in some capacity on Sundays. We take on Swansea. I mean, of the 4 that left, of course, we know about Barry Bannon. He's on to Millwall. Nathan Redmond, he was released. I think he only played just over 90 minutes. Didn't even start a game either since he was here. Harry Mass went back to Man United, and the other one was obviously Bailey Cadamarteri, who left on deadline day to go to Wrexham for a reported £1 million, plus a few add-ons as well. Yeah, let me know what you thought to the transfer window as a whole. Are you happy with the business that we've done? Like I said, one of the busiest January transfer windows that we've had for a long, long time as fans of Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, are you okay with Cads leaving? Are you okay with that deal? I know I kind of put a tweet out saying, is he going to be the next Fezaio Delabashiru? And by that, I meant a player that wasn't really loved by the fans. And obviously Delabashiru's, potentially, I don't know what happened to him in the summer. I don't think he ended up going to Bournemouth in the end, but, deals reported to be worth around £17 million. He's a player that we had, in League One. Delabashiru was knocking about at Hillsborough for quite some time, putting his milk in before his cornflakes. And then look how much he's worth now. That's what I meant. Is Cadamarcio going to be a similar player where, we're going to, I won't say regret letting him go, but is he going to be someone that's going to be worth £5-10 million later on down the line? We've also had a statement from the administrators as well. Came a couple of hours before kick-off yesterday. A few key takeaways was that the money loaned to the club by the fan has now been paid back. That was £1 million. The club now have sufficient cash flow to trade through to the end of the season under reasonable scenarios, is what they've said. They also mentioned they've had a new IT system, retail infrastructure, bar equipment has been installed, and stuff that's kind of already given a return. And I suppose a big one as well, £350,000 has been spent on the North Stand roof. So, yeah, something that our previous owner failed to do. But not much in terms of the takeover in there, other than it's just still ongoing. No date was given, nor indication as to how long it's going to take. So we've just got to sit tight and wait that one out, really, and kind of wait for it all to be done. Waiting for people to be stood on in the centre circle, holding the scarf aloft and things like that. We're still waiting for that to all be announced. But yeah, if you want to come up and have your say, you can get involved on YouTube. We are live over there, but you can also come over to X Spaces. I can already see we've got a few people that want to speak. We've got Cherie, we've got Corbin, we've got Ted as well. We've got plenty of people over there, so don't be shy. Do press that request to talk button. I'll bring you up and we can have a chat about anything Sheffield Wednesday related. I'm just going to come to some comments before we get underway with that one. Old Geezer's in here from Rwanda. We've got Daniel, Patrick, evening everyone. Will we score again this season? Daniel, I'm seriously questioning it whether I am going to see another goal before the summer. Well, certainly for Sheffield Wednesday. We might see quite a few for the opposition. Steve just says, please, someone, anyone, just make it stop. Another 16 games, Steve, that we've got to endure, I think is the right word. Liam says it's 87 days till the end of this wretched season, counting down every single one of them, Liam. Alex says evening. No Leaf Clover says you must have a forgiving missus. Yeah, definitely. Agreed on that one. Nat says looking forward to seeing the new recruits as long as Pedersen doesn't play them all out of position. We've got Annie in here. We've got John as well. Jimmy says it ends when Bannon relegates us. Well, we're not really relying on Bannon. I suppose we're more relying on the other teams to do us a favour, aren't we? I think Blackburn, West Brom, Norwich. The problem we've got as well is Blackburn play Norwich next. So I think the gap between those two is 1 point. They both can't win. So I think the gap will either be the same if Norwich win, or the gap will go up by one if either there's a draw, or if Blackburn win, they'll be 3 points ahead of us, but Norwich will be the next team that's a point ahead. So I think the maximum points, I don't know. I'm sure someone has probably worked it out mathematically and looked at the fixtures and things, but from my reckoning, I think the gap can only go out by another 4 points, I do believe. Would that be enough? I don't know. I've no idea. We're basically relying on Blackburn and West Brom to win the next two games, effectively, in order to relegate us before we play our dear neighbours down the road. Big Rev says, evening all, welcome to Sheffield Wednesday Nil podcast. Yes. Jack says, hopes of decent game last night, but I've come to terms that I'm slowly losing my mind. Elgies says, you lose a stone, we lose the will. Yeah, definitely. And yesterday was dire, but hope for some positive vibes very soon. Yeah, look, these new players that we've brought in, I'm excited to see them. Apparently, a lot of pace. Joel and Darla especially has got pace in abundance. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do because we haven't seen any of that this season at all. Someone that can just run at people. The only problem is, have we got all the other players to keep up with him? He's no good getting to the byline to pull the ball across, and Jamal Lowe's still trotting over the halfway line. That's going to be no good to nobody. So, but yeah, just something a little bit different. Just a goal. I was talking to a Swansea fan. You can listen to the preview show over on Patreon that I did earlier on today, and I just said, look, this is how mad it's got. I was like, look, you can win you can score 2 goals, you can win the game. Just let us score, just a goal, like please. Like I just want to cheer a goal. That's how low the bar has got, to be honest. But anyway, right, let's come to some of the callers. Then we've got Cherie that's been patiently waiting as always. Cherie, how's things? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you, James?
Yeah, I'm fine. Well, I'm stuffed, like I said, after that chippy tea. But other than that, I'm all right, to be honest. Do you know what? I was cautiously optimistic yesterday going into that game against Blackburn, but alas, it was the same result, weren't it? All right, this time a goal came a lot earlier, 10, 11 minutes in, but still, same result, no goal scored, and another defeat for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that Blackburn goal ring, I'm like, oh, I knew what was coming.
Cherie, do you think we're going to score another goal? Because I'm genuinely questioning whether we're actually going to see a goal scored because, all right, I know we've hit the post, we've hit the bar, we had one cleared off the line at the weekend against Wrexham as well, so we're getting closer, but it's literally just one chance that we're having because we're not having many shots, and we're certainly not having many shots on target either.
To be honest with you, James, I don't have a clue if you're going to score a goal again.
I know. It's just it's sad, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Because there was a point where we were kind of joking whether will we get up to positive? Will we get to 0 points and things? Well, now that's another 7 points between now and the end of the season, and I honestly, Cherie, I can't really see where we're going to get those from. I know this sounds really depressing, and apologies to anyone, but I'll come to some comments. I'll see if hopefully X Spaces sorts itself out. So Big Rev says it was a good explanatory statement. Couldn't read that word there. Too big a word for me, Revs. Answered many questions. The rest will follow shortly. Picks or director's box pick. Yeah, I'm sure there might be people looking on in the next game, which is a week on Saturday, innit, against Millwall. Football 3503 says last night was dire, James. We need to go to a 4-4-2. Jerry Yates can't play up front on his own. Hope the new signings start on Sunday. We'll be at Swansea. Ollie says the question is, when does Henrik actually change formation? I see Ollie wants to speak. I'll come to you in a second, Ollie. Ted, are you there, mate? Are you? Is X Spaces working? Ted, are you there? I've no idea what's happening over on X Spaces because it doesn't seem like people can speak. Ollie, are you there? Let's try this one. Ollie, do you want to unmute yourself? Oh, I don't know what's happening. This is not working. This is not going according to plan at the moment. Ollie, can you are you talking? Are you there? Can I hear you? Right, I'm gonna, guys. If you just want to, if you're on X Spaces, just leave and join again and try and request to speak because for some reason it's not fully working. Whilst I do that, I will just come to some more comments. Envious says, did anyone hear Ross Wallace say how ineffective Jamal Lowe was last night? Been same all season. Another poor player. Yeah, I had the commentary on. I could hear what Ross Wallace was saying, and yeah, I think obviously, again, speaking to the Swansea fan, Jamal Lowe was a player that Swansea had, and Jerry Yates as well. So 2 players with a point to prove against Swansea this weekend. But I think for me, it's just been very underwhelming. From when I think back to when we signed him and he scored that goal on his debut against Plymouth. Since then, I've just been looking. We've just not had the same player that you've seen, at Swansea and Bournemouth and wherever else he's been. You look at the clips that he's had, a lot of pace. I think all his pace has just totally evaporated. And I know this season's been difficult. But yeah, just saying that they're answering you a bit behind. So I'm guessing people can hear me on X Spaces, but I can't hear you for some bizarre reason. So I have no idea what's happening over there. But we'll give it another go. Ted, are you there? Ted, do you want to unmute yourself? I've no idea what is happening. What I'm going to do, I'm going to end this Twitter Spaces. I'm going to start another one because something's clearly gone awry. So let me just try and pad it out whilst we do that. But yeah, just in terms of Jamal though, I feel like look, I don't want to call him. I don't want to say he's lazy. Like I know I've just said that, but when you give it the eye test, there's things that just the mannerisms that you see, and I just don't quite think he's putting 110% effort in. Like I said, I have been very underwhelmed with him. I don't think we've got the player that I thought we would have when we first signed him, which is it's a crying shame, really. You know, when you look at some of the goals that he's scored and the pace that he's had, and you look now when what's happening here? This is all going wrong. Apologies. Apologies for that. You got a nice little bit of background music there, but right, let's see if this is working now. People, if you can join on X Spaces, I want to get some people up. I want to chat to some people as well. So if you want to come up and speak, head over there, press that request to talk button. Right, let's see if this works now. Let's bring Ollie up. Ollie, are you there? Can you speak?
Can you hear me?
Oh my, hallelujah. That was just me, just for the last 5 or 10 minutes, just trying to pad out and panic whilst it's not working. Technology, it's rubbish.
You did very well. You didn't get flustered.
Well, you can't
you
see
did so well.
You probably could see me if you're watching on YouTube, and I was getting very flustered at the moment. So
you did look it. One of the things I wanted to bring up is, what did you make of Danny Cadamarteri's statement?
I think I agreed with some of it, but like the bits I agreed with, I think you're probably referring to the bit that he slagged off the 10% of the.
I mean,
fans.
yeah. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Every club's got 10% of divs, right? It's it's an unnecessary dig.
Yeah,
and they ain't killing the club. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, I think he's right in a way. Like I do think as a fan base, you know, we don't really allow players and young players to kind of make the mistakes that they should be allowed to make. However, I want to caveat that with, we don't really use our youth players at all. You know, historically, certainly over the 10, 11, 12 years, we very, very rarely use them. And then I think when you look back in some of the seasons, and I tried to make this point over on Discord as well when we were talking about it, I think when you look at the past few seasons, you know, for example, when we've been in League One, you know, we haven't really, we need to win every game. We haven't really had an opportunity to play an unproven young kid. And then I also think as well, when you look at the level that the academy is playing at, it's like the players leave the academy, and very few of them go to, well, even those that went up to Celtic, they've ended up being, you know, what is it? Where was he at? It was at Fleetwood, I think. I want to say, and Northampton Town or stuff. He's probably the only one that's actually done anything. Everyone else ends up at Gainsborough Trinity and places like that, like Conference North. Like the level of
Duck.
Yeah, the level of our youth players isn't very good. Like, yeah, I know people can say, "Oh, yeah, we've got Ernie Weaver, we've got George Brown, and look at Yisser Alau, he's gone here, and Caelan Cadamarteri." And yeah, obviously there's a bit of emphasis on it now, but I think that, right, not to that certain level, but players do leave out of our academy, but they don't get to the under-18s. If there's any decent players, they've gone. Like they're going to a Cat 1 academy because we're just not good enough. So point I'm trying to make is like that I suppose we set the bar quite high because we're expecting these youngsters to be at the level of a championship level, and then I just don't think we've been able to give them the time to play. But I do also agree that, like, we could lay off them a little bit. But then again, you know, I don't know. you're
It's
right.
a horrible season where I think
Yeah.
everyone's just now, and it's not even the fact that the players aren't even trying, because they clearly are, but the tactics are hindering them. You know, it's the whole definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expect different results when it comes to Henrik and his footballing tactics. You know,
Yeah. What do you want to see him do
it's
in
not
terms
good.
of his tactics? What do you want to? Because I'm sure you're referring to. I mean, yesterday it was a
formation.
It was a 3-4-3 yesterday, weren't it?
Oh God, wasn't it? It was shite yesterday. That's what it was. You know, I turned it off in the end. I couldn't watch it. It was just infuriating me, and it's just, you know, you say, my God, just give it a go. You know, we've got all these new players. Where are we going to play a left back and an attacking left winger?
Well, I was
in
thinking
that
this.
formation that he's employed?
He's got to change it, hasn't he? Really, because unless he's going to play Adam Arola at left centre back, and he's not really come in as that. He said he's a left back or a left, you know, a left wing back. So he ain't going to play there really. Because then if you do that, then yeah, because then if you do that, like where are you going to play? Who's the other one that's come in? Ndala, Joel Ndala. Yeah, where's he going to play then? Like he's not going to.
We've got to go with the Christmas tree formation, and can we just get Jamal Lowe off the pitch, because you know he's not doing anything. I wondered why Bournemouth fans were laughing at us when we signed him, and now I know why. You know what I mean? He isn't the player of Swansea. You know, he really isn't.
I'm just looking forward to, Ollie, just a huge reset.
I can't wait.
Just clearing the decks. I mean, the fact that Barry Bannon's gone as well. I know we all didn't want it, but if you want to kind of flip it on its head and turn it into a little bit of a positive, it is just a huge reset now. Like that is, he would have been the focal point if he was still here next season. He would have been
and we can't have him as a focal point. It would be, God, we wouldn't ever let him retire at this rate, the way we were going. Do you know what I mean? He'd be 50 and we'd still be getting his boots on. We need a completely fresh start. We need a new philosophy, and we need a new manager who's got a clear definition of how he wants to play. And I do think it's going to take us 2 to 3 seasons in League One to before we start seeing a vast improvement. As long as we don't all think, oh well, here we go, we're going to chuck a shitload of money at it and piss the league and back-to-back promotions.
Do you think that the fan base is a wider fan base? Do you think we're actually going to give the club that amount of time? Because I'm a little bit nervous to be honest, Ollie. Like we don't even now we've got people, you know, expecting. I mean, the season's over and done with. I know you could say that I kind of fall into that category a little bit, but you know, we have said doing the pod, like we will just critique the game as it is, as a game of football. We know the reasons why, but we will try and just talk about it in its isolation. But there's people that are, you know, saying that manager's going to be sacked now, like get rid of him now. Like we're in administration, like we can't do that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Who's going to take it? He didn't win it because he's got the best glowing CV. He won it because he was in the building, and they were like, "It's you or Ethel the tea lady." And quite frankly, I think Ethel a little bit more.
Ollie, come
on, a little bit more metal about her.
Ollie, it's Doris, not Ethel. It's Doris. Let's just clear that one up.
Oh, you know? Yeah, Ethel got laid off at the beginning, didn't she? And it's only went down to Doris. I forgot. But you know, she would have a little bit more metal, I think, and just say, have some shots from outside the box. Do you know what I mean? Give it a crack. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, you look at their goal yesterday. I don't think that's a cross. I think he's had a shot, hasn't he, really? And look, they've just got there first and poked it in, and it's a goal. Like that's just how easy it can be. And the shot stats are embarrassing. Like they are really, really embarrassing. These are professional footballers. I know they're tired. I know we give them all the excuses under the sun. But you should have at least 5. You can have 5 shots in a game. Like I don't think that's much to ask for, is it really? Like, you know, and at least 2 or 3 on target. But anyway,
exactly. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, his press conferences now sound like he's just reading off an auto cue of hit the points. I'm proud of the lads. we tried.
Hey, do you know what?
Best.
People pull him up for that. I don't think he said that in a few weeks. Granted, he said it a lot a bit earlier on, but I don't. He must know, and I don't think he.
Maybe
he
he's reworded it. Maybe he's. I'm happy with the boys, which doesn't sound great to be honest either. So, but he's probably reworded. But he does have a set little points, and that he makes. We try hard. We work. We're committed. Everyone says the place is bubbly and happy. They don't look happy on that pitch.
No.
They look like they'd rather be anywhere but on that football pitch.
Yeah.
So we're bubbly training, and then we are like 11 men going for our last supper when we hit Hillsborough on away ground. What is the mentality?
Yeah, Ollie, where do you stand with the fact that it could be at Bramall Lane where we officially get relegated? Are you in the camp of I don't really care, or are you in the camp of
I wrote it off in August, James. I wrote this season off. Like as soon as it turned out that he hadn't paid anyone, I was just like, I'm going to give this the best stress-free season ever. I haven't got worked up ever. I make a joke out of it that we're setting our own records at work. I'm surrounded by Arsenal fans and City fans and all those sort of, glory hunters.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I mean, as long as I'd rather we lose the next 2 games, and that is a horrible thing to say, and just guarantee that we are relegated before we go to that shitty little ground, because by God, we will never live it down, if they relegate us.
Well, that's what
and
I mean.
They will put their honest forward.
I mean, us losing like next 2 games is actually, I think, potentially the worst thing that can actually happen, because, like I said, the gap's 39 and there's 39 points to play for after that game. So the gap has to actually increase. We need Blackburn and West Brom to actually pick up at least a point, because if they don't pick any points up, those 2 sides, if they lose the next 2 games, then
I do think the title bid is over.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we can get playoffs now either. I think that's out of the window as well. So, but
I was going straight for silverware. I don't want playoffs. I want that big trophy. But no, it's a horrible situation. But I don't think we're going to beat Swansea. And then we all know it's probably written in the stars that Bannon's going to hit us 25-yard screamer, top bins, and put us down.
Yeah, like I said, we need Blackburn to win or Norwich to win or whoever it is, and
Norwich will probably win against Blackburn.
And we need
Blackburn.
Yeah, and we need West Brom to pick up some points as well. If they do that, then, like I said, I think they need to pick up 4 points for it to not happen. Both those teams need to pick up 4 points for it to not get to the Steel City derby. If they don't pick up 4 points,
that we would win anyway. Either way, we'd probably go there and get some sort of goddamn result, and then drag this torture on for another week where it's like that.
Can you imagine? Do you know what? I think
it's been 84 years. Just relegate us.
If we, look, it's never going to happen. But do you know what I mean? Like, if it would go down as probably one of the best victories that we've ever had. Like, I don't. Yeah. Would it, Ollie? Would he eclipse? I don't think he would it? I'm just. I started thinking about it, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not going to eclipse the Peterborough game at all. It's not in a million years. But I don't know. Like, it's going to be in terms of.
It's going to be up there. I mean, it'll be up there with like the shithousery of when Lloyd Owusu came on and his first touches and he put it in the net. I absolutely love that game because they were just all over us, and then he came on and just nicked it, and then Kuki came and scored a rare goal as well.
Yeah, I can remember being there at that game. Absolutely red hot that day as well. And then Lloyd Owusu threw up as well, didn't he, on the pitch, which he was famous for doing. I think he did it every game or something like that. It was just like a superstition that he had to.
I mean, as long as the new guy who comes in doesn't make a ridiculous claim like Chris Turner did of we'll play European football in 5 years, we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Ollie, massive thanks for coming on, mate. Do really appreciate it. I've got loads of people that want to speak now. It's all working, of course.
Working.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers for that one, Ollie. Cheers for sticking with it, which I appreciate.
No,
I'm going to come to Cherie next because we rudely cut her off earlier on. Cherie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Apologies, something went wrong again. I thought you'd binned me off, so, but clearly the.
It's like, hold on a minute. What have been coffee for?
Well, I blame it on the software. It wasn't me at all, but it's working now. We've sorted it out. It's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, I was saying about whether you see us picking any points up. We've already kind of talked about whether we're going to score another goal or not. I suppose if we're not going to score a goal, then it's just 0-0s that we're looking for. But yeah, can you see us picking up any points, Sheree, at all?
Not really.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Really, Sheree, is there anything else you want to talk about at all?
I was impressed with Murphy Cooper last night.
Agreed. I think he certainly man of the match. I thought he did really well. He's done well since he's come in. To be honest, I think. I was a little bit. Barnsley fans didn't give him any sort of glowing review. To be honest, that said that he's small and he can't claim crosses and stuff. But I thought he's done pretty well, hasn't
he? Yeah, really well.
Would you be happy? No, let's say Piers Charles is sold in the summer and he's not our keeper next season.
Right.
Would you take Murphy Cooper next season if we had the opportunity to do that?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, agreed. What did you make to the transfer window, Sheree? Obviously we brought 6 players in over the course of the January transfer window. We were quite busy on deadline day and and the day before as well. Obviously we haven't seen those players yet, those 3 that came in. But are you happy with the business that we've done?
Yeah, it's strange.
It does, doesn't it? Because normally we don't do anything in January, do we? To be honest.
No.
Are you? Is any of those 3, Teo that we've signed? I always keep forgetting his name. Joel Ndala. There we go. Joel Ndala and Marvelous Nakamba. Is any of those that you want to see this weekend?
Marvelous.
It's a great name, isn't it? To be fair, if the
it's a fantastic name.
Up there with one of the best, to be honest.
Fantastic name.
Sheree,
I loved it. I loved it when they announced his signing and they put Marvellous Monday.
Yeah, yes, I saw that one, definitely. Sheree, we take on Swansea this weekend. How do you see this one panning out? Obviously, it's on Sunday, not Saturday. Sunday game, 12:01, as I saw you've pointed that out earlier on. How do you see this one panning out?
I don't know, to be honest with James. It could go either way.
What's your score prediction then? Have you got one right yet, Sheree? Have you got one right yet?
I nearly got it right against Hull City for a minute. I predicted 1-0, but then I think it went 1-1.
Yeah, go on then. What's the score going to be on Sunday afternoon?
A draw, 1-1.
Look, I'll snap your hands off for that one. I think I said that last week as well when we were predicting the scores. But a 1-1 against Swansea would.
And you know what? Right. When we play Millwall week on Saturday, it's going to be weird seeing Barry Bannon in a Millwall shirt on the Hillsborough pitch.
It is going to be really strange, isn't it? I mean, that's if he play. I'm sure he would play. We'll see what happens to him.
When he saw the team, he was coming out against Wrexham, and I didn't see his name. Like, no, this is weird.
Yeah, well, Liam Palmer did his kind of best Barry Bannon impression, didn't he, by running over to the cop, which is what Baz normally does. But
yeah, it felt weird not seeing Baz on that pitch.
Yeah, look, we've moved on now. That's it now. That chapter's closed and stuff, I suppose.
I reckon Barry Bannon's going to get the biggest reception when it comes to Hillsborough.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be strange. I really don't know what's going to happen because obviously from a Millwall perspective, they're going to say, "Well, you're our player now. We're paying you 15 grand a week or whatever it is." So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know people have said, "Oh, he's going to parade around the ground and all that sort of stuff." As a Millwall fan, you'd be a little bit pissed off if for example, if we one of these Marvellous, for example, that we've signed, if we play Luton next week and he started walking around Kenilworth Road clapping all the fans and stuff, you'd be a bit like, well, what are you doing, mate? Like, you're a Wednesday player now. Like, they're not paying you anymore. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel from a Millwall perspective.
Game, and it's 5-0 on Ag to Man City.
It's 5-0 to Man City?
Yeah, on Ag.
Oh, on aggregate, right? Okay, yeah. I'll just.
Yeah, so the 3-0 up, but the 5-0 on Ag.
Well, that's that's done and dusted. That one, isn't it? Really, to be fair. Sheree, is anything else you want to say at all?
What did you think, sir? The performance last night?
Absolutely abysmal. No
two words. I agree. It weren't the best. That's right. As soon as that goal went in, I just started falling asleep.
Yeah, just no attacking. Nothing going forward whatsoever. There was the midfield looked disjointed. Ingelsson and Heskey, tried the best, but just not good enough. To be fair, it looked like they'd not played with each other.
I thought they looked exhausted again.
Yeah, they're going to look like that every week, aren't they? Really, I just think.
Yeah, true.
I thought defensively we looked okay. Did well in terms of trying to limit them to as much as we possibly could. But there were so many crosses coming in. They were targeting our left-hand side with Reece Johnson, which they're always going to do. And yeah, it was just really difficult. It wasn't, the atmosphere was poor as well. Like there was hardly anyone in the ground.
Same problems with ownership. So
yeah, exactly. It was just such a weird game. It felt like it was a game in COVID, to be honest. And yeah,
it did feel like that with the atmosphere there. And also, I know that Manchester score's mad, but this is not going to be our comeback.
Yeah, like I just didn't see us coming back at all. Really, just didn't create anything. And then you look to the bench, and again, no disrespect to him, but they're not game changers. Kabatski's not played since I think it was the Swansea game. I want to say, earlier on in the season, he hasn't played any minutes whatsoever.
I'm surprised Ugbo didn't go.
Well, there's rumours in there around whether he's refusing to play and stuff. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, that's the rumour anyway. So I don't know. I don't know how true
I know
that
it's
is.
Manchester against Fraser, but it's not going to be our game against Peterborough.
No, I know you're right. You're right on that one. Cherie, massive thanks for coming on. Do really appreciate it as always. If you want to do the same as Cherie, press that request to talk button on the bottom left, and I will bring you up and we can have a chat. I'll come to some comments, and then Ted. I'll come to Ted, then I'll come to Corbin, and I've got Paul as well. Apologies if that's not the right order, but look, it went tits up, didn't it, earlier? So anyway, Mark says the previous owner got us relegated. No team this season can claim to be the ones that relegated. Yeah, but Mark, we will play a game, and that we will be relegated after that game. So that's just kind of matter of fact. I get what you're saying, and I get what everyone's been saying. Oh, it's the previous owner that's done it. I just don't want it to happen. After the game, when they say, when they're going through the results, when they read them results out, and then it says underneath Sheffield Wednesday are relegated, like it's going to be after the Steel City derby, or it looks like it's going to be, and I don't want it to. Like I'll be there at Bramall Lane. It'll be. Yeah, like I said, I know the writing's been on the wall for a long, long time, and if it doesn't happen there, it's going to happen the week after. But I just don't want them to be singing about it for the end of time, and they will be. And that's because that's how much the Steel City derby and the rivalry means. I've got work colleagues that are United fans. I've got family that are United fans, so friends that are United fans. You can't get away from it, and that's what football's all about. But anyway, Steve says, imagine we lose our next two games, confirm relegation, then we go to S2 and turn them over. That we can all dream. Aurelius says, hope Baza comes on as a sub on the 14th. He needs to be given a real reception. Super Al says, some empty seats at the Etihad. It should be the empty had, shouldn't it? Annie says, don't mention Ugbo. Rev says, keeper made a save and a rebound, headed off the line. Got a resounding ooh in our house. The first half meh, second half a bit better. Yeah, it was the second half, weren't it, when we had that chance that hit the bar, and I got a little bit excited for a second, but it was very, very short lived anyway. Right, let's come to Ted. Ted, how's it going, mate? You all right?
I'm not bad, mate. That's all.
Good. Nice to see you. But what do you want to talk about, Ted? We can talk about last night. We can talk about Henrik Pedersen. We can talk about the transfer window, or all three if you want, mate.
Yeah, all of that. Right. You're on about shots. I've done a bit of research. Like our last 7 games, these are shots on target. These last night 1, Wrexham game 2, Bristol none, Portsmouth 1, QPR 2, Preston none. Oh, sorry, Preston 1, and Blackburn before Christmas none.
Yeah,
the last 7 games. So I think it's time to go now. And it's Pedersen saying he's a nice fella and all that, and give him a chance. He's had his chance, I think. He's clueless. Get on to transfer. Well, I'll tell you what, after the Wrexham game, a kid put a post on. I thought, he's bang on. He says, we've just played with Wrexham last night. He says, we're already relegated, as good as. We're 1-0 down, and it's 94th minute, we've got a corner. Is there anybody else who took everything at him? Keeper up lock, kitchen sink lock. If it's not him, it kept Keeker back and 2 players.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I did think that as well at the time. Was it at 89th minute or something? There was a couple of minutes left, and I just thought
keeper. They
keeper.
would have break away and scored against us. Well, big deal. 2-0, 1-0. What's the difference?
I did think keeper up. Let's just throw kitchen sink at it, and let's see if we can do something. There is that element. I honestly think though as well, Ted. Like, I think again, I don't know this for certain, but I think he's on a knife edge in terms of, like, we don't know what it's like in training. I don't think there's many characters in the squad. Certainly not that many that are fit. It's a lot of young lads and stuff. But I don't know whether it's a point where he's trying to get him to do something, and he doesn't know whether the answer is just going to be fuck off. Do you see? Do you know what I mean? If he's trying, I know that's not going to stop him from sending the keeper up. That's a bit of a daft thing to say, but I just think in terms of, I don't know if he's trying to keep the morale up, because let's not forget these players didn't get paid in the summer. They're going through a torrid time and stuff. I just don't think anything can actually make it any better at the moment. We tried new players. Let's see if that makes a difference on Sunday. But when you just got the same 11, and it's just the same 11 next week as well.
He plays same 11 every week, but.
Well, he can't do anything else though, can he, Ted?
He can't now, but he can now. He can,
yeah, true.
Window like that, and what he hasn't got, he hasn't replaced Bannon, which is not easy, is it? But we wanted a centre midfield creative player. And we haven't got one now. Even when we had Bannon, we haven't got one now.
Well, they cost a lot of money, Ted, don't they, really? Like, they're like rocking all shit. That's why Millwall's got a 36-year-old Barry Bannon. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
everybody's after him, yeah, we are. So what he's done, his next best thing is he's replaced that pace what we lost.
Yeah.
We lost all the pace out that side. Now he's got 2 whippets down one wing. So that's going to be our plan of attack now. Hit them down wings, put Kabatsky on right wing, and then 2 new lads out left hand side. Get it. It's all about getting all fit again, lads, in it, because all 3 of them be signed. I think one played 3 games, one started 2 at all. Me coming on sub out all rest of it, he's played like 19 games, but he's only started 2. Rest has come on at 80 minutes, 70 minutes. You know what I mean? They've had no game time. So
yeah, well, and Darla's started 10 this season. Last time he started was 29th of December. After that, he's had half a game, 14 minutes, 9 minutes. No, this is the one that was at Hull that we've signed from Man City. Then the other one, Adam Roller, I think he's not played for quite a while. I say quite a while.
Bradford last season, and I had his interview, and I'm sure he said he's played about 12, 19 games or whatever. But he's only started twice. Or more rest have been substitution. Right. So it's going to be all that thing, and you'll watch. But if they're all fit, I mean, I like to see him marvellous. As I say, him looks like a wrecking ball, isn't it, looking at him?
Well, apparently Luton fans actually liked him. It was a bit of a fan's favourite when he was on loan from Aston Villa in that season that they went up. And then, I feel like he's very much it looks to me like a Jose Semedo type character.
That's what I think, yeah. Semedo.
Probably not the best technically or anything like that, but puts 110% effort in and just constantly smiling all the time.
Like Bambo, another one of them.
Yeah, as long as he's not nothing like him at all. But yeah, look, I'm nothing's going to sort the season out. We're down anyway, but I just want something to cheer about, Ted. I just want to see a few goals, just get some points. Like let's just try and get. I know I've just said I can't see it happening, but you never know with these new players. It might give us a little something different, because it must be so easy to play against us, Ted. Like we play it the same way every single week. It's obvious what's going to happen, isn't it?
Well, he can't now. He's got his fixed 2 wide men, hasn't
he? Yeah. On the same side as well. One more defensive minded and one obviously quite attacking. So he's got to
put it up front and all,
Yeah.
He's tried him up front, but they only had a couple of games up front, but But he's got that bit of pace back now. We've missed that badly. So I'd get Carrasco on the wing. If he can't last 10 minutes today against Blackburn last night.
He did, yeah.
He's been on bench a couple of times, so he's got to be fit, otherwise he won't be on bench. So get him playing, because he's quick, him. But he's another one, he's a striker, him. But when we signed him, he's not, because he don't look like...
What formation would you play then, Ted? A 4-2-3-1 or something like that? Like you're play the lad at left back and then play the other...
I've got to have three at back and play that, if he's fit, that Fabulous. Is it Fabulous or Wonderful?
Marvellous.
Marvellous.
Yeah, I hope he's fabulous and wonderful, but no, his name's Marvellous.
This Timmy has got to pay 3 ampere in. Him got him.
Well, I don't know, because you play a back four and you can play him in the two, kind of holding midfielders in front, and then you'll have your 3 up to Ndala on the left, maybe, I don't know, Charlie McNeil through the middle, Olaf Kabassi on the right-hand side if you want to do that, or Ingelsson can perhaps fit in there. Ingelsson will probably be, I don't know. It's difficult to know where to fit them all in, isn't it? Really, someone's going to miss out. You know, when you brought three new players in, some are going to miss out, aren't they? Unfortunately, I don't think Heskey's looked a bit off it on last night. He looked a bit off the pace, certainly in that second half, which maybe he could do a rest.
Yeah, weren't we? It's not, is it?
No, people are saying they're playing him in the wrong position. They're playing him deep, want to see him a bit further forward, but apparently that's where he wants to play. That's what he wants to play, that defensive midfielder role. That we'll have to wait to see.
My mate says he wants to don't play these new lads. He says save them all and Liam Cooper all and throw them all in against United because he's desperate for them not. I says I don't give a toss if they beat him.
Well.
Are they going to celebrate knocking a bunch of under 23s, under 21 kids out, relegating them like? They weren't ever relegated. They managed 18 points, what did us?
Yeah, you're right.
Got 18 points, that was down.
I know, but they'll that don't matter to them. They will have relegated us. They will be the team that has succumbed us to relegation, and they'll love that. But Joe, just on that game, I'll be there. I'll be in that away end, and I've got a feeling that the atmosphere is going to be absolutely amazing in terms of just constant singing non-stop. They might score. They probably will score, and it'll not stop us singing. And it'll probably be weird for them. They'll be like, from a United perspective, they'll be like, what, like, it'll just be strange that we're just singing constantly for the full 90 minutes. Almost like very reminiscent of Wembley against Hull in that second half. I think that's what it's just going to be like, just constant for the full 90. And, Wednesday till I die and all that stuff. You what, sorry, Ted?
I said, that at Wembley was just unreal, that against Hull. I couldn't believe it. They started singing about 50th minute. And even though they scored, he just carried on singing all the way through.
He was bouncing, weren't it?
Steve Brooks were getting all plaudits and that. And he said, he couldn't hear them. They've lost.
I know, yeah. This is a team that's losing. They're losing in final championship playoff final and what have you. And we're still singing and dancing. I think that's going to be similar at the Lane, to be honest. I hope it is anyway. I hope we don't. What we can't do is walk out. Whatever the score is, we can't walk out. You've got to stay to the bitter end, and because if again they'll dine out on that for the rest of time. But Ted,
have we ever been in 4th division? Never seen much you play 4th division.
We haven't, no, mate. We have not in our history.
I haven't seen them. We never what they've been in it. Like, 15, have they ever beat Barcelona? Yeah, they have done them. We have.
When was that, Ted? That must be some years ago. That one, surely.
62.
62. There we.
Beats the 3-2 at Oldham. We lost second leg like 2-0. It don't matter. We beat them. Big underdogs like you'd expect.
In the Fairs Cup, was that? Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. Beat them 3-2.
There we go. Springett in goal. Megson. Wilkinson.
Johnny Fathom got 2.
Yeah, and Finney got 1 as well, apparently.
Just died on Finney. I know he's about 90-odd years old.
Can't say I know any of the Barcelona players at all. But anyway, there we go. Every day's a school day. Ted, Ted, thanks for coming on, mate. Do appreciate it as always. It's always nice to speak to you.